Saturday Social is powered by FIFA 22 with PlayStation.
No worries. Anyway, moving on. We've got to talk title race because it's another huge game today, isn't it? Chelsea against Manchester City. Many people think one of these two teams will be lifting the Premier League title. So first up, let's have a listen to what Thomas Tuchel had to say ahead of this game.
We have the belief that we can do it. We have the belief, we know very well what it takes. It does not matter. Once we play tomorrow at Stamford Bridge, Man City, it's on. It does not take a miracle to win against Manchester City, but it does need, it's absolutely necessary that we bring out the best performance.
Yeah, interesting quote. So it does not take a miracle to win against Man City, but it's absolutely necessary we bring out the best performance. Jack, your thoughts on those quotes from Tuchel there?
Yeah, it's quite weird the way he says, like, miracle. It's almost the emphasis on it. It's kind of like, it's mind games, right? He seems to be sort of, to me, he's kind of saying, "No, we're confident we're gonna win the game," is what it's coming across as. And Chelsea do look good. Like, from what I've seen this season, they do look really, really good. It's going to be an interesting game, right? It's going to be an interesting game. I don't know why, though. I think City today are going to turn up. I really think they're going to, especially if KDB plays. I think that could be one of the interesting situations if KDB starts. I think he's so crucial for them. Despite they've got, an absolute plethora of superstars, I still think he's like the key to their team.
Do you think he will start? He's not started a Premier League game, but of course he did play midweek in the Carabao Cup. Do you expect him to start? Obviously, key player for Man City, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he would. I don't see why they wouldn't in such a massive game. I mean, especially. I feel like that's why he would have played him in midweek, right? I mean, no disrespect to Wickham. I say that I don't like them anyway, but I just don't want to anger any Wickham fans. When it comes to playing that, you don't, you think he's probably playing him in order to give him a bit of fitness, right? Don't need to play him against them. As I say, I don't actually mind winding them up because we don't like each other. So, but I guess that's why. I guess that's why he was playing. Why he was playing midweek was to give him some fitness for today. I would assume anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Apologies to our mate Bayo Akinfenwa who watches the show in case he's watching this.
Hey, to be fair, he's a nice guy. All right? I'm sorry for the football team you play for. Okay, I gotta be honest. I gotta be true. Okay, all right. We don't like each other. I got not Akinfenwa as in Wickham Football Club. Okay, I gotta be honest with that. So.
Oh, I love this. Well, we're going to try and film Bayo versus Pie live. That's what we're going to do next. The Wickham v Plymouth challenge. We're going to sort that out. Anyway, back to the title race. Chris, obviously Chelsea fans will be watching this, wanting me to scream out the stat that all Chelsea fans like to mention, the fact that Tuchel beat Pep's Man City 3 times in 3 games last season, of course, culminating in that Champions League final. They're 2 elite coaches, Tuchel and Pep. Who would you rather play for, Chris? Who do you think right now has the edge? It's quite a tough question that I'm chucking on you on your debut on Saturday Social. I realise that.
No, that's all right. Well, you hear the word miracle in that presser and you're like, sounds a bit cocky, but then you think about it and he's got total reason to be, like at the moment you'd say Tuchel is, I've not seen a manager come in and have such an effect on a team like he has I don't think ever before really. Like I say, before Pep and Klopp, they took a little while to get into the rhythm. It took a while for their teams to sort of get into their system, their philosophy and stuff. Tuchel's come in and just almost from day one made Chelsea incredible at the back, totally revolutionised like their play and made them so different to how they were under Lampard and everything. I would, that's such a tough, Pep purely for the fact, being Pep, having Barcelona, having that team that won the Champions League, like he's got the name status. Right now, I'd probably say Tuchel.
Okay.
Do you think he's the best manager in Europe right now? I think there's arguments to be made that he probably is in terms of form. Because obviously Champions League winner, that Chelsea side look pretty much unbeatable at the moment. I think they've conceded 1 goal so far this season.
Yeah, mate, I totally agree. I mean, City as well, like, I can't see them. It's very close between the top teams, but I can't see, they don't feel as strong as they have been in the Centurion year. The years we've seen when they've just dominated recently. Chelsea feel like they've taken that next step up, and it almost feels like it's obviously Lukaku, they brought players in, but it's such a huge part to do with Tuchel.
Yeah, I agree. Although what I will say about City is they started last season slowly as well, didn't they? They took a while to get going, and then when they when they find a bit of form, it starts to look really, really ominous. And obviously, loads of people are saying they didn't sign a striker, they haven't signed a striker. They're still scoring goals for fun. Like, Jack, do you think the fact that they didn't sign a striker is going to come back to bite them, or are they just got enough quality across the board to cover for it?
I think going forward, they're just so strong. I like Ferran. I'm a big fan of Ferran Torres, and I saw him play. I saw him play against Leipzig when he played up front, and I thought he did a really good job. He actually scored. I don't know whether you saw it, but it was offside. But it was a cracking finish. Like it was a cracking goal where he took it round Golaski. I think if Pep's got obviously that ridiculous ability as a manager. If he can get him to start playing in that position. But Jesus has been going further out wide. I just think they have so many attacking options that with the way Guardiola is, if they were desperate, I'm sure that someone could step up and play in that role, or he can keep playing sort of a formational system that doesn't necessarily need a striker. I mean, it's crazy, isn't it, how many good players they've got in terms of like world-class forwards. It's insane. Like it is insane, especially because it's all... Go on. I was going to say, Chris, like someone's going to have to sit out because even like Mahrez was just crazy last season and
ridiculous, right?
Yeah. They've got 5 or 6 going forward, and there's only space for probably 3 or 4 in the system. So
you say that City are like almost the only team that have the sort of luxury of being like, oh, if this 50 million forward isn't playing well, we'll just like lump in another. You know, like, I feel like they have such a huge, like you said, plethora of players. They can just swap them out. And like Mahrez has hardly played this season. De Bruyne hasn't played. It's just like, just swap them in. If they're not playing well, just swap, they can do that.
A lot of options, aren't they? You're dead right. Let's open the discussion up a bit because obviously we're talking title race. I think we all agree that City and Man City are going to be there. But we've got to mention Liverpool as well because they've started the season brilliant. They've actually got, I don't know if you've seen their record between Liverpool and Chelsea is identical. And I feel like a lot of people, pundits, experts, people on social media, they weren't sort of tipping Liverpool to have the season that Chelsea and Man City were. So have you been impressed with Liverpool, Chris? And can they sustain this and mount a real title challenge? Because again, they've got a lot of great players, haven't they?
Yeah, massively. I mean, I was having this argument with one of my mates the other day, and exactly like you say, no one's talking about Liverpool really, which is strange considering that's all Liverpool fans have done for the last few years. But like having Van Dijk back is such a huge thing. For their team, they're a totally different team, and I feel like people are totally forgetting. Like they haven't made many signings. They've still got Salah, they've still got Mane in their peak years. Like they've got Jota who's come in, and I feel like Liverpool are still, personally, probably the favourites for the title. I just feel like with Van Dijk, they are so good. The matches they played, so like they absolutely demolished Leeds the other week. I feel like Liverpool are very, very strong as well.
What about United, Joe? Obviously, you're a United fan. Where do you think they sort of stand in this debate?
Bit streaky, I think, at the start of the season. It feels like when you watch United, they are a little bit of a way off of a Chelsea, a Man City and a Liverpool. I still think, for me, Chelsea are going to win the league title. If you had to give a prediction, let's move it quickly on to a prediction for Premier League winners. Jack, who would you go for?
It's tough between Chelsea and City. I still think it's going to be tough. I'll go City. I still think City are going to do it.
Jack's going City. Chris?
I mean, I've given mine away. Had to lead you on to the question, but Liverpool. I think Liverpool will win it.
Okay, so Liverpool, City, Chelsea. Smithy, you can have the caster, eh?
Yeah. I did say Man City at the start of the season, so I'm not one to change halfway through. Chelsea do look good, but I will stick with the prediction I had at the start, which was Manchester City. So there we go.